Hey, what's going on, guys? And we're back with another video. Right now we got the PSP, and I actually got this thing back when I was working at Modell's, or actually it was actually called City Sports in NYC on 56th Street. And I used to rock out with this thing on the train every day and listen to music. This thing is actually still working, and it's got some tape on some spots because some of the mechanisms didn't actually work as good as they used to. But right here I was just going back. This picture right here is like dead serious, like 11-12 years old, and I was a G back then. I'm still a G, but you can see right here I got the C hat on with the little silver gold chain. I was kind of a problem back then. I'm still a problem, but I definitely was Anyway, let's talk more about the PSP. This thing was sick. You could customize the equalizer effects, and I had tons of music just like side loaded on here. So I would on my commute to work, I would just listen to a ton of music. And this thing was basically like my MP3 player, like my iPod, but my iPad, like that's how I used this thing. Plus, like I would watch movies on here with some DVDs that I had, I think like the little discs. I'm not sure if they're called DVDs, but I had one of the games I lost that I'm kind of tight I couldn't play in this video was called The Warriors. And that game was actually sick on the PSP. I wish I could actually find that game, but I actually think I lost it. But I had the 2K10, which was definitely pretty cool. And this thing just takes me back to way back, almost 10 plus years ago, when I used to just listen to music with this thing everywhere I went. I always had music. I could throw in a pair of headphones and stuff like that, and it had a headphone jack, and this thing even had some way you can connect to some type of network, but so you can get an internet. But this thing came in the piano black. It was about 6.7 inches across, but the screen was only 4.3, 16:9 widescreen TFT LCD screen. It had built-in speakers and connectors and ports and drives and everything like that. So you could see it does have a start button, select button, volume buttons down at the bottom, triangle, square, X, and circle. The triggers. It also had a joypad with a directional pad. It had a USB, some type of USB port at the top, a little lanyard thing on the bottom. But let's just change up the games. And this thing is sick. Now, this thing wasn't too hefty at all. It wasn't bulky or anything like that, but I honestly gotta say this thing was sick. It had 64 MBs, megabytes of storage, 4 megabytes of actual RAM. It had 480 times 272 pixels per inch. It definitely had the AC adapter for power, a lithium ion battery. This thing was definitely pretty ahead of its time. Honestly, I definitely still using this thing right now. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of mobile gaming graphics, how they are right now. The screen isn't the most impressive in the world. When I was looking at the screen, I was at first I was damn, this thing is kind of bad looking. But then I remembered this thing was 10 plus years ago, and for that long a time, way back then, this thing definitely was ahead of its time. Because now mobile gaming kind of looks like this. It might be a little bit more 3D and a little bit more nice looking as far as the aesthetics and the graphics and shadowing effects and stuff like that. But these graphics I'm good with in 2019. I could rock out with this thing every day. If I seen some kid on the subway when I was coming home from work yesterday, and he had the PSP, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? And he was playing like what looked like Gran Turismo, or like some type of racing game with a car almost looked like Need for Speed, or like Asphalt 9 or something on it. And I was like, damn, that looks sick. So like I immediately thought about my PSP, like that I still had from back in the day. So I went down to, like, into the drawer of in my room. Like I had this thing in the drawer, like where all my old tech is, and then I had to find the power adapter. So I just found the power adapter, and then once I found it, I plugged it in for like a good good couple of hours, and then unplugged it. And then when I turned this thing on, I was actually surprised that it still turned on. So like the longevity of this thing is actually really good, because I remember when I first bought it, it was actually like a refurbished, renewed model. And that was like back in when I worked at City Sports. And when I worked at City Sports, that was like 2008 or 2009. Like I definitely remember that, because like that's when I had just left Victoria's Secrets. That was like Victoria's Secret was my first job in 2007. And then I worked there for a year, and I was like, this is kind of, it was dope. Like I definitely like working there, but I always had this thing with me, like when I was working like back in, so that's how like the memories are like really clear. It just felt like yesterday. But this thing still is like really, really crazy. It's definitely like, if you rock a PSP like currently, like right now, like definitely let me know in the comment section down below. Like I think that would be pretty cool, like if like a lot of people did still use it, because it's actually pretty cool. Now the battery does last like pretty long. I can't remember how long it like lasts actually, like but I remember playing this thing for like, I would bring it with me throughout the whole day, and like I would listen to it like music pretty much all day. And I didn't remember like carrying a charger ever. Like it never carried a charger. So I think this thing had like a really good battery, like as far as like the duration of it and stuff like that. And, I never was like, I don't ever remember like ever like a belly aching about how long the battery would last. But this thing does have Wi-Fi. It has the IEEE technology, which is like basically it has a port and connector and drives. So that's like one of them. And it has 802.11b Wi-Fi with a USB 2.0 mini B. So that's like the type of USB it was. But like it has a UMD drive, so it could read all your discs. The DC and 5V connector. Like what else did I miss? That's pretty much everything. Like basically this thing was really cool, really portable, really advanced, like for its time. Like I think a lot of people had these back in the day, and like I went onto Amazon, and they had these still for like the same price I bought this thing for back like 10 years ago. I remember I paid like $99 for this thing, or something. Maybe it was definitely like at least $100. But I know I looked on AliExpress, and they had a refurb of this thing for like $56. I'm thinking about getting a brand new one. And the ones that they make, they don't load discs. Like it's all done on Wi-Fi and like internet. So like I think that would be pretty cool if I'd unboxed a brand new one, like a refurb one with like a brand new shell. And like tell me what you guys think. Do you still think this is like a good device in 2019? I definitely think it's like one of those pieces of tech where like a lot of people were like definitely using these things. I wasn't too much into like the Nintendo, like the Switch and everything like that. And like I remember I had the Sega Dream, the Sega what is that thing called where you held it in your hand? Damn. But I sold that thing when I worked at Victoria's Secret to this kid for like, I think he got it. It was a steal. I gave it to him for like 50, or maybe like he was my boy, so I gave it to him for like 40. But that was like the Sega. Tell me what that thing is called. The handheld Sega that played like Sonic and all that. But thank you guys for watching. Appreciate every last one of you. You guys are the real MVPs. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, good night. I'll see you in the next video. Later, crew. Peace. Thank you for hitting that like button. I definitely appreciate you guys if you would, hit that. But I'll see you guys on the next video right after this one. But definitely hit that, subscribe, get notified, and hit the bell as well, and make sure you're part of the notification crew. Later, crew. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.